I'm good at this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to All Booked Up. I'm Beth Hildenbrand, and today we have Ray Sostre. Did I say that right?
That is correct. Ray Sostre in person. How you doing, guys? And thank
Yay!
you.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm gonna make it nice, short, and sweet. I'm one of those guys that's New York born, East Coast raised, West Coast bound. My background comes from New York City, born in 1976, Gen X and proud. But I witnessed a lot of things growing up in New Jersey when I was 7 years old. I witnessed a lot of shady activity at a young age, things that young kids you would normally think wasn't exposed to. But you see a lot of shady activity from adults that they do in front of their children. And I learned throughout time that people are not perfect, but there's good qualities in people that I can explain through the story, but people are never going to be perfect. And we have reasons and we make choices, and I can explain how and through stories. It's very complicated. Too much to say, so I will make it as brief because I have a lot of things I can say. Queen of Darkness relates to a lot of things that I witnessed, and while it's a romance story, it's a dark romance story, but it's a romance that explains the truth. So my background relates to the 5 states I lived in the United States: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania, I witnessed a lot of. I grew up among a lot of affluent folks. While my parents were fortunate they were working class. They were not rich class. Yo, what's up, Nana? I gotta stop and say what's up to my homegirl, Nana, and I gotta say what's up to my promotional assistant, Victoria Philpott from the UK. Homegirl, these two homegirls been with me since day one, so they're my day one peeps. I gotta say what's up to them. Anyway, when it comes down to what I witnessed during the 2000s in Pennsylvania is a lot of people squandered. They squandered a lot of things. My parents, they worked for it. My mother was a school teacher. My father was a transit worker. My kid brother, now in his 40s, he's got 5 kids. I got 0 kids. We're the total opposite, but we didn't come from a rich background or a wealthy background, nor from a poor background, but we were very fortunate. We came from working class. I grew realistic on a lot of things when I moved back to New York City as a teenager in 1991. So in New Jersey during the 1980s, everybody was trying to emulate California the way I looked at it. Okay. Oh my gosh, the valley's so cool, you know?
Gag
Yeah.
me with a spoon.
Uh, oh, gag me with a spoon. Oh, the mall is totally cool. I mean, I've hung out with these people. I grew up with these kids, spoiled, rich white kids who didn't know how to appreciate things. Pennsylvania taught me about the poor white kids. New York taught me about the working white kids. And then there's also the blacks and Latinos, Asians, other cultures involved. However, poverty and uh, uh, and wealth has really been the factor between the real world. It's just that we grew up in a generation where division made us question things over time, why we have to think this way. The book Queen of Darkness is really a romance that explains about high expectations but false hopes, because I knew this as a teenager and I witnessed this growing up. New York City is a city of a lot of dreams. Every kid from suburbia, from Connecticut to upstate New York, all the way out from New Jersey, obviously, to Pennsylvania, they all want to flock to New York for that big city dream. But that big city dream comes with a price because there's nightmares you got to go through. And people are too scared to go through this. You know, the price of success. And a lot of this is due to patience and paying your dues. And and a lot of people choose that romance. They romanticize things the fast way because of they're influenced by media. I mean, I listen to Tupac, Spice One, George Lamont, Props to Tiana, and Lisette Melendez. All right, I listened to Skid Row, Tesla, Ian Von Dahl. I mean, this is my wide vast of music, but I don't let music influence my thinking. People live by lyrics, and trying to explain how reality live up to the expectation of others when it comes to romanticizing things, even love, because a lot of people don't know how to love themselves. And that's something even I forgot over time.
Yeah, it's the woman who sits and reads the romance novels and expects the Prince Charming to come to her.
But in reality, you got to get your ass out there. And this
Yes.
is what's wrong with what's wrong with society is we portray the apathy towards others about that. And why people have bad romance is it all begins with that act of pride of when you think that you don't need the person, this person's no use, you're going to find out years later that person was meant for you. But people find out the hard way. And I'm trying to show the tragedies and the possibilities of romance. But there's good intentions and wicked intentions from people. Like you could be happy, but there's always somebody who wants to screw it up for you because they're unhappy and they don't want to see you that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
You have your little clique of girls who want to tell you, "Oh, he's so bad. We saw him talking to her," and yeah, they
Exactly.
go out of their way to ruin your relationship because uh, they're not happy with theirs or they don't have one, so you're not supposed to be happy either.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that I have very few girlfriends
Mm-hmm. See,
because that's how it goes.
this relates also to the Queen of Darkness. See, this is what you mentioned. Every gal has a darkness inside them, but they all want to brag about it. The truth is can you accept the consequences of your actions? Most of them cannot.
No, they cannot.
Let me tell you something. In the man's world is always about dominance, and the woman's world is a different world. I can identify the struggles y'all ladies may go through, but I'll never think like a woman. No matter how many romance books, no matter how sensitive I am, I'm going to think like a guy. But there's a warning I got to let them know in the real world. You think that you can show darkness how powerful you are? Keep in mind, darkness has consequences also. Just like,
Always.
yeah, just like showing virtue and light, in your side. Yeah. So it's a vampire novel, and while it reflects to the parodies of the real world, I mean, it's a parody of how we became who we are as Generation X, and that reflects the years from 1965 to 1983. While many of these people will always argue it's 1965 to 79, excuse my expression because we're live. That's my phone. I'm a buffer guy. Do not mean to ignore. And I don't like to ignore phone calls, but when I'm tied, my hands are tied. My hands are tied. Welcome to the life of Ray Sostre, constantly busy. But what I was trying to point out, the phone call almost lost my train of thought. When you think you're the biggest badass, keep in mind you got a lot of consequences to pay for. Everybody thinks they're bad, but in the reality, you got a price to pay. You got answers, things to answer for. And in the Queen of Darkness, everybody thinks that. I lost my train of thought. What I was supposed to say before the phone call, but everybody thinks that they're big and bad. But what happens when the good guys take you down? And it's a romance of how women throw away the good guys, but they're going to end up needing the good guys when they're in danger. It's like karma.
Oh, karma.
Mm-hmm.
It's a yeah, you got that saying's perfect. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's just
Josephine tells me not to swear when I'm on camera, so
oh
I couldn't finish that little train of thought. But yeah, uh, karma it will bite you in the butt in the end.
yes. But I have a diabolical mind, and it's a creative, and a lot of this was the inspiration from a lot of people. Queen of Darkness was based on a freestyle song that I've heard. I started going back to my old roots. And freestyle music, I'll explain the genre of freestyle music. I'm sure you've heard of artists like Taylor Dane to Samantha Fox. While in mainstream America, it's considered pop music, in New York City, Los Angeles, London, to even Tokyo, it's considered freestyle music because of they utilize hip hop beats, but their their lyrics is defined on of love songs, like relatable to R&B, and just in a more danceable format. But it was very popular during the years of 1980s throughout the 2000s. But it was but at the height of the era, it was 86 through 94. Right
I
around
remember those days. I'm, yeah,
right.
showing my age.
I'm sure you may have heard of TKA, One Way Love, George Lamond. I mean, these are artists that express love, pain, but it was overlooked because the urban music overshadowed them in the 90s. I mean, I can't complain. I'm a huge fan of Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man, he's my number one. So I listen to artists like Redman, artists like 50 Cent, and I don't listen to their lyrics. I like their producers more, to be honest. I'm more of an instrumental guy. I used to be a club DJ. So music, it defines the art into the music, and it programs like on my mind. One of the movies that did influence me, and I wanted to be a film director. That was my greatest passion. I wanted to go to NYU school. But when you have working parents, like reality, yeah, NYU was my number one choice. I settled for Borough Manhattan Community College, the college my parents met and got married later. I didn't get to meet the girl. All I gave a damn about was getting what I wanted, a degree and ambition. So I dropped out because, during the 90s, everybody wants you to, if you want that dream, you got to take a loan. But you can't, it's what you're willing to leverage in your life, I learned. Because I made mistakes in my past, from my marriage through business ventures. But you learn over time what not to do. And some people, they tend to blame.
Pardon me.
Yeah, go ahead. We're human. This is my first video interview, so I don't even know what TF I am really doing.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing great. I like when other people talk and I don't have to.
Oh no, I mean, I got a lot to say, but it's not. I have to respect the time also. And one thing I worry about, I was going to take this at Magna Park, which is a block away from where I live, because I'm naturally loud. Damn New Yorkers. But it's just I have a young child, and my friend is a grandmother, so I wanted to be considerate. And I know it was like for a grandmom and a mom to get sleep.
Oh yeah.
I used to get my ass beat for disturbing my mother just out of spite.
Oh yeah. I have 5 boys. I know that feeling.
My mother raised 2. My brother I knew how to get on my mother's nerves better. She called me the Prince of Darkness for some reason. I'm a God believer. Truth is, it's just I know how my mother can. No woman can piss me off greater than my mother, and trust me,
My kids would say that too.
You think I pissed her off? Just that. I pissed her off more than she pissed me off, and someone's calling me again.
I have to turn my notifications off. No
I should have
sound on my
muted.
phone, or just all day. It would never stop. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And my son just messaged me a few minutes ago, like he doesn't know what I'm doing right now.
I do have obligations later because I have a friend who's helping me out, and I'm working on some stuff. On to the story Queen of Darkness, and in the Queen of Darkness, I got to learn about weapons. Because it's involved. Okay, it's a dark romance. I'm not afraid to say shit in plain English and write a graphic sex scene. I mean, anybody want to vouch? Talk to my PA, Victoria Philpott, and my good friend online. I mean, she's like the consigliere, Nana Courtright. Do not mess with her. I'm gonna give you
I
a
love her.
fine
She's my
warning.
girl.
That's my home girl. You mess with her, You messing with New World Order right here. And Victoria Philpott, I know homegirl can handle her own. I'd be like, call me if you need me. Anyway, um, but speaking of which, those two are characters that I'm writing in the story. Also, they are major characters, but not major characters. Nana Cartwright. Now, I've spoke with her and interacted with her in the past. Had it not been from her through past my divorce, I don't think I would have had that motivation the way she did it. Victoria did she stood by me for 7 years. So I got nothing but love for that girl. I mean, I'm willing to give her the breaks because she stood by me. Even during my darkest moments. When I was homeless, I never gave up. Never gave up. I dealt with a group of bullies in the city of Magna where I had to take a stand. I mean, they forced me to play my hand, but you know how it goes. I learned some things from gangbangers, and I hung out with one of the most dangerous gangs in New York City that I will not want to speak of. Because these guys were secretive, and I knew who they are in history, so I will not speak their names, and I'm not going to speak the name of the gangs that I deal with, but it comes with the culture growing up in the city, okay? When you're a minority, you can't avoid these guys either, okay? It's just the way it is, just the way the world is. So you will navigate around, and what they taught me was stand up for yourself. You never, ever take any abuse from people who have a problem for who you are. And some gangbangers taught me how to stand up for myself because I had a gangbanger in high school, and I did not know how close I came to killing him. And I swear to God, like I didn't know. But I was bullied in high school because he thought he was untouchable, and I caught him alone in the bathroom, and I fought him, and I got him down really good. But it made me aware of the consequences that I could have faced. Then it changed my attitude. It changed my attitude over time because you see, it's so easy to take that road, but then are you prepared to live with the consequences of your actions? And I started thinking, damn, I could have killed that guy. Thank God, nothing escalated beyond that. I talked to a shot caller. I told him I never picked on this guy. He picked on me. Now, him picking on me means that he's going to draw heat on him. And I told him that. You're going to draw attention from the cops, from other rival crews, and from school officials. And school officials don't mess around. Not in New York City. They don't give a damn. They take action. And he started thinking, and that's what made me change my attitude. What I learned about growing up as an inner city is 50% of your battles, my father has taught me, is controlling your emotions, because people are always going to piss you off. And I was a blackjack dealer. You want to be pissed off? Be a blackjack dealer, work in the casino industry. And I want to give shout out to a couple of people from Wendover, if you bear with me. Megan Leggett, okay, Mindy, her mom, Stacy Campbell, Tony Rettatagliana, his wife Leanne, Sarah Fike, and I definitely got to give a shout out to my homegirl Sarah. All right, Sarah, she's a dear friend. After my divorce, she's been there for this cat here, and I thank her for that. Sarah Wheeler and Chris Bauer also, good guys. So I got to give a shout out because had it not been from there, I would not be here. All right.
You got to remember the people that were there. It's the most important thing.
I got to mention those names because they're important to me. Even my ex-wife, Mary Howery, I got to mention her because when I jump-started my career, there was a lot of communication problems, and I had an infidelity issue. I'm not afraid to explain it. Shit, I'm human. Tell me what husband and wife never cheated when they were unhappy? Show me one that has never when they were unhappy. And I'm gonna show you one that's FOS, and excuse the expression, full of shit.
It's okay. You can swear. I'm the one who gets in trouble for it.
No, trust me, I can curse like a sailor. It's just I know I'm very mindful where I'm at.
I tend to have the potty mouth if I don't watch myself. So I try and behave myself when I do this.
Now, I must give a shout out to Joanne Poirier from Canada, Montreal. She was the inspiration behind a book that helped me get the best rating in the Thrill Seeking Relationship series. And I'll tell you, it's a couples erotic romance that I started in 2014. Okay. I
I
was
was
single
going to
when
ask you about that.
that's right. See, this here was I was married. The only thing I think is just because you're married doesn't mean you're dead. What causes who cares if you want to have extramarital feelings? You know, this is your private life. It's not my place to judge. I used to be, trust me, I'm a bisexual. I'm bisexual. I'm polyamorous. And I don't give a fuck what these people think of me because they don't pay bills. They don't put food on my table. They don't put clothes on my back, but hand me a hard dick in a conversation most of the time. Okay? That's the way I fucking look at these people. And I hate to curse because I like to, but I can't help but be myself. Oh, yes, I'm a Niner fan. Fuck you guys. If you don't like it, kiss my ass. Congrats to the Chiefs. I'm a good sport. Something you New England fans have a hard time doing. And Niner fans, remember, humility. Okay? We got a good quarterback. Don't let your attitude lose him. Okay? Anyway. I know. I've been up since 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I'm more worried about being late than having a perfect interview because it's like nothing to me. You want to mess with this guy? I used to work in the casinos, so it's like being on surveillance camera. No, I gotta but you have to have fun with your life. Life's too short, and I learned that in 2016 because there was a woman who passed away on Thanksgiving on the Thanksgiving weekend of 2016 that affected me. She was 23, 3 months divorced. Her name was Christina Castro. Her death affected me, and this is where I am today. Whereas that when she got divorced, she was trying to live her life, but she died, saving her daughter in a car crash. It was announced in the
Oh.
news in Utah 8 years ago almost. And her death impacted me because she never had a chance to live. 3 months. And that car crash changed everyone's life. I was her supervisor. She was she was the most attractive of the crowd because of her personality. She didn't judge. She had her demons just like we all did. But she was always great with customers. She was great with staff. She brought joy to people, even me. She even saved me from myself one day from an anger issue because I had a patron who bullied me and I was trying to save someone from an incident, and he was drunk and high or stupid. You know how it is in the casinos. It comes with the territory. So she saved me from myself because I was about to get physical in defense because he was about to attack me. And had it not been from her, and I realized I came close to losing my job from defending myself. Didn't notice my stance, and she warned me, and I thank her for that. Sadly, no one was there for her, and if I knew, I would have been there for her. It does play my mind in guilt, but she taught me, life's too short, man. Start living or start dying. 23 years old. She would have been today on July 2nd. She would have been 31 this year.
It breaks your heart.
Yeah. I'm right now trying to hold back those tears thinking of it. But it really inspired me to write a lot of stories based on untold stories of others because there are a lot of people that inspire me. All right. People who affected my life. So Queen of Darkness has a tale that talks about um, real life characters, but untold because everybody's looking at the TV for what's the next big thing when they should look at what's going on next door to them. Vampires is a fictional thing. Vampires do not exist in the real world.
Oh,
Okay. I'm sorry. I
that
hate
breaks
to
my
disappoint
heart.
you. I hate to disappoint you. Vampires do not exist in the real world, but they do exist in the spirit of the mind, where people get consumed with the wealth, the attraction, with the lust of power or whatever. They think and they they forfeit what they what they should enjoy, by squandering it to apathy. I mean, after they destroy it, they don't give a fuck. So this is how the world ends up the way it is today. But to explain it during the times where we came from, how did we become that way? The pandemic. See, the stock crash of '08 should have been a warning to us about our arrogance in the United States and around the world, because we can all end up in poverty just like that.
Oh my God, yes.
But the pandemic should have humbled us. Some people haven't figured that out. Even I mean, thankfully, I never got sick. I'm vaccinated from it. Just I have health issues myself. Um, Anybody who chooses not to is their choice. I don't want to criticize that because they are entitled to that choice. But what the pandemic taught me, and this is during the time of my divorce, is be thankful for what you got, and how people lose it with just a simple negligence, thinking that, oh, I don't need it. It means nothing until you realize later, oh shit, what have I done? And I watched it a lot of times on the blackjack tables. This is where I
Oh, I
witnessed
bet you have.
a lot of demises. You get a lot of kids who grew up being affluent, um, never knew what it's like to live hard until one day they're out on the streets and blaming everybody. A lot of times, they let the good times and they think the good times are going to last. I knew good times are always limited time because it's always going to expire. Just like romance, nothing lasts forever. I'm from New York City. The World Trade Center was built 3 years before I was born, 1973. Demolished it when I was 25 years old, 10 days after my birthday. And you know what my mother told me? Nothing lasts forever. Just cherish the moments. But people don't know how to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody really appreciates what they have until they don't have it. Don't they say everybody's, what, 2 paychecks away from being homeless?
The fear that I'm not afraid of, but the thing that I know how to survive homelessness since 18 years old. Let me tell you something. When you're 18 years old, you think you can conquer the world until reality lives up to your expectation. Now you got a choice: sell your ass or sell drugs in the streets of New York City. I didn't have the heart to sell drugs, and I wasn't going to sell my ass. All right? So I got a real job. I chose a different route. I let them fools do the tricking. All right? But when years down the line, you start to figure out where these high school has-beens are, and that's what they are. They call you a loser when they're really the loser themselves. But you figure out where these high school has-beens are, and I'm just going to call it out like I see it, because what they do is these are people who do nothing more but waste time, but in getting high, getting drunk, and I like to drink. Anybody from Wendover to Magna will know about my attitude. I'm not a saint, but I'm productive. There's a difference between me and the next man. Just like you and everybody else. We all do the same thing like everybody else. It's just you stay productive and do something with your life. Okay? These people, all they want to do is stand around and pose, look good, but years down the line, reality will catch up on you. Then you start asking yourself, damn, I've been to jail. I've been through bad boyfriends, shitty girlfriends. What the fuck have I done? I'm now 46 years old. I mean, I've been writing books since I was 33 years old. I've been an ambitious person since I was 17. All right. New Jack City was that movie that inspired me to write books about good guys and bad guys, romance, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I'm not going to be ashamed to admit that I like porn. But see, I like pornography when it does tasteful thinking in the process of eroticism. Into a typical man, they don't know how they couldn't romance their dick, nor their wife next door to them, nor the blow up doll that they got in their fucking closet. I worked in the casino industry. I know their dirty secrets. And even their wives come talk to me, and there was a reason why I was married back then. Magna, that's I'm not ashamed to explain. I got a dark little history, but what happens when you're lonely, divorced, and you're a nice guy? People take advantage of you. Then you then they start to see, oh, you're an ugly bastard because you won't go along with my shit. But the thing is that um to make it in life as an author or whatever passion you have to, you got to go through the unpleasantness, and people are always going to say negative things and try to sway you with their feelings. You can only be nice for so long until you see their stupidity get out of hand. Then you got to call their stupidity out in public, because that's one thing about wicked people. They do not like being exposed in public.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I'll show you how in the Queen of Darkness.
I'll tell you what, I have been called cringy. And let's see, what else? Oh, I like to have my face seen all the time. And, just all this. And it's like, okay, so you're my age, and what you sit at home and bitch about your misery, and you watch your soap operas, and you drink your vodka, and you take your pills, and you bitch. Oops, sorry, Josephine. And you complain, and you do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have goals, and I work and I achieve them, and you don't. And that's why you want to point your finger at me.
That's right.
No, 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 no.
I never harmed anybody, neither did you, as far as I see it.
No, I go out of my way to be kind to people. I really do.
I don't see no purpose to do so. When it's
Yeah,
so,
so I
when
have a little dark
easy.
side. So that's me.
We
If
all
you don't
do.
like it, don't look at me.
That's
Sorry.
it.
You
You can
don't
kiss
like that
my
I read.
ass.
You don't like I write horror novels. I'm not telling you to read them.
That's
Don't
right.
buy them.
My favorite part was in the
Just
casino when a
get
guy
over
told
it.
me about that. Writing erotic romance. You hate what I write. You say I write porn, yet your wife wants to read my work. What's wrong with the picture, pal? Don't make me go there.
Yeah, it gets so old. Some
No.
days I have to stay off Facebook just because I can't look at it for the day.
After 2020, I got so sick and tired of political memes. There was so much negativity. I started changing my views and I started posting memes more. I mean, I've always posted memes then, but I was like, ugh, okay, now that this debacle is over, I'm gonna start posting memes and watch everybody post political crap. I'm gonna be like, I think we need laughter. Let's post some comical stuff. Oh, now that the election of 2020 is over, let's get back to big dick jokes. I thought of saying that once, but you know what I did? I smoked weed during the election. I was like, no. I'm going to smoke weed and watch some Def Comedy Jam, some throwbacks, while these two old senile bastards bitch about it's like watching the movie of Grumpy Old Men 1 and 2. Okay, at least Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau play that shit better.
I have no time for politics on
I
Facebook.
know, I hate politics, and I was a
I stay
Republican
away
and a
from it.
Democrat. And they all say, "Oh, you're a goddamn liberal." It's like, well, you just don't like when people think for themselves, and that's basically the issue in this world today. We all want to do what's right, but there's that one naysayer that tries to persuade you with their feelings, and then when you think for yourself, they call you the enemy, and then they try to persuade the dummies to be on their side until the truth comes out. Because when they're getting fucked, then they're switching to your side because this person ain't delivering. But until that person is able to deliver, they're going to keep screwing you. And this is the way the real world works.
I said when I vote, I won't vote till the last minute, and don't ask me for any money.
No.
Yeah, I'll wait till the very end to decide because I don't even know.
I'm going to give you a little advice. Next time someone from the political party comes up to your door, you'll be like, take the words from the late rapper Craig Mack. When I grab my dick, I'm too lazy. Yo, hold it for me. Tell them assholes to do that because that's what I tell those religious folks the same thing too. And I was once a Catholic until the age of reasoning.
I just had him a copy of my book.
Oh, they don't want to see my previous books. Alice in Wonderland depicted my most twisted imagination. Promiscuity's success was all about the truth and the desires from women, and half of them from mine. I'm not ashamed to express that, but it's really the truth. Then the Thrill Seeker Relationship, those books really was about couples' fantasies. My first book was to express, well, I write mostly interracial, and it's not always involving white women and black men. I'm in favor of it because of break the norms that I've always seen in romance books. How I got involved with romance, it all involved telling a teacher to go fuck herself in 1988. She belittled me in class. So to avoid an ass whipping, my mother gave me an ultimatum. She's a school teacher, and she wasn't afraid to crack the belt. Those are the old days. You know, you call that child abuse? But this way, some of y'all's need it today because this is what Gen X was all about. We're the last generation, maybe. Because the laws changed after that. And there's a reason why. Because, yeah, I grew up with some kids who grew up with, who are victims of rape, child abuse, and all that crap. Negligence, alcoholism, drug abuse, and all different races combined. And it's worse in the wealthy side than you see it in the poverty side. Because on the poverty side, it's exposed. On the wealthy side, they're doing all they can to hide it.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, I lived in the tale of two cities, so I can explain it. But when it comes down to all my books, I do encourage it, but I don't give a damn what people think. What my thing is to encourage the reality of what their world is like, what I know. I write what I know. I'm from New York. I'm from these 5 states. New York is my roots. New Jersey is my background. Pennsylvania was my upbringing. Nevada talks about my work history, but Utah, I married this bitch long before I moved here, 20 years ago. She's a sexy one. Legs, stockings, cute ass. All right. But the thing is, Utah is a bubble state that's 40 years behind most states because like California I've been to also. Northern California I'm more familiar of. My ex-wife is from Northern California. I'm going to give you an educate on the difference between Northern and Southern. Southern Californians and Northern Californians. There's 2 differences.
Oh, I thought they were all just Barbie dolls with different heads.
No, they look the same, but you'll find those in anywhere in California. But the difference in Northern and Southern is Northern Californians like to live loud, but they don't like to be loud. They're like New Yorkers in a sort of way, but they like to live louder than New Yorkers. Where Southern Californians, they just want to be loud. When they moved to Utah, they had the tendency to draw heat, the Southern Californians, faster than Northern Californians. So ask a Northern Californian that moves to Utah, what's the perception of them when they move here? Oh, you're all the same. You're fucking up the state. When really, you get the bad boys that come from Southern California, and you get the few bad boys from Northern, but the way they operate and the way they think is they like to live loud. And I was married to a Northern Californian. They like to live loud. In other words, they like to enjoy their life, do whatever they want, but they don't like being loud.
Well, I come from Amish country, so.
Oh, that's I'm not far. I used to live in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Allentown, Bethlehem. So
I'm from Lancaster County.
Lancaster County, been
yes.
there. Shout out to Malvern. I'm also writing about that area. Big up to Carol Ray if she's also watching this. She's a very inspirational person.
All my books are actually set here, and they're kind of, they're horror, occult horror, so it all has some kind of Mennonite, Amish, religious bent to it.
Whereas in mine, with the Queen of Darkness, it reflects. I'm not LDS, but I'm very familiar of LDS culture, being surrounded by it. I mean, you have Utah itself with the LDS culture is one thing, but when you live outside LDS, you see the LDS culture, which is more grounded. They're more realistic of what's going on in the world. Well, Utah is more sheltered. See, after the 2002 Olympics, it changed the game of Utah. Utah is now trying to learn how to cope with the growing pains because where there's success, there's challenges. This is what happened to California in 1984. What happened to the state of Georgia in 1996 when you invite the Olympics, and it's a good thing, but it's a drawback. See, Utah is now facing challenges from the successes of 2002, and it all began in the 90s. But when I tell fictionally how they got involved, I mean, there's a deeper tale, and it trails back into the vampire story. Vampires live forever, so I can go back to the history of Utah if I want to, and I did. It's available on the prequel, and it's available on Barnes & Noble. And the reason why I choose Barnes & Noble and I promote Barnes & Noble over Amazon is because Amazon is like Walmart. They don't understand authors. Oh, yeah, they'll back us. So as long as you agree to their terms and, sign your name to the devil. Oh, no, I'll play Prince of Darkness, not you. But,
Right.
yeah. No, but this is their mindset in the corporate world. See, they think they own you, they got you by the balls, so you got to
Yes,
agree to
they
their
do.
terms. Yeah. So I'm about to be on low chart, so that's why I'm moving around.
Well, pardon me. Again, too much smoking. It's about time to wrap this up.
You
I've been
got
having
it.
such a good time, but we've been,
I
woo,
I know. I have so much to say, and I also got to be mindful. I can't even believe I broke a record of 41 minutes.
I know, right? We're going to have to do this again.
I would love to. I would love to. And I want to give thanks to a lot of people from Wendover to Magna, from the people out in the UK. And if it had not been from these people, there would have been no author before Ray Sostre. And I'm humble. Thank you for having me on here.
Oh, of course. But you want to stick around while we do the news?
I'd love
And then
to.
after we go off live, we'll have a little chat for a few
I'd
minutes.
love to. Yes.
Okay, well, ding, 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 ding. I've got to get some having news music instead of me sitting here saying ding, 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 ding. It's time for the news.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody listening, if you have any suggestions for news music, please throw them at me. Okay, so this week in By the Author, we have Hargrove Perth as our author of the week. She ends today, so go in and check her out because she's terrific. And we have Carly Yates starting tomorrow as author of the week, and Josephine Wrightson is our author of the month. So grab a pen and paper now because you need to write these things down. Check out Geriatric Trippin' website. They are absolutely fantastic. You'll laugh your butt off. J.R. Byers. Go on to her website. She has the Crafty Quill, and she does proofreading and editing, and she's just fabulous. Catherine Bailey's book, Nemesis, Life is But a Nightmare, is now out on paperback. And Taggart Wren, Freer of Souls, book 1 of Vampires and Spies, is on paperback now. And I am reading that, and it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I just can't put it down. And also Luca's Return by Taggart Wren, book 1 of The Council, is on paperback. And next week, we have J.A. LaFrance as our guest on the show. And Pebbles Lacasse says, great interview. Ray.
Thank you. Shout out to Pebbles. We're gonna do a live write. Pebbles Lacasse and I are gonna do a live write on March 23rd, Saturday. And I want to give her props. She's a very talented, and I'm still reading her book because I read portion during 2022. Unfortunately, I went through some events, but I'm gonna keep up with her work, and we're gonna do a live write on March 23rd. So look out for that on After Dark Moments with Ray Sostre featuring Pebble Lacasse.
Oh, see, more news. Awesome. Thank you, Pebbles. You're fascinating and wonderful, and I appreciate the shout out. Sign up for the show. I would love to interview you. Okay, well, everybody, remember, going to bed alone is just awful, so take a book with you. And we'll see you next week. Love ya. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. And stream and stream.